Okay, so reality television. It arguably goes back to the Second World War. Historically, the era in which television took off, propaganda took off, and later advertising. But it really became powerful as a television genre in the late 80s onwards, when the Western world was neoliberalizing in favor of deregulation, in favor of privatization and individualism. It's before that, crime series used to be the most popular, profitable um, television genre of entertainment, and soap operas. And in a way, what makes reality TV interesting as a genre is it does incorporate some elements of soap opera, of crime series, and also documentary. We'll come to that in a moment. So it's a global format. There are many different kinds of reality TV show. There are ones that are concerned with singing, performance, dancing, live performance, but actually mediated and edited. We can talk about that later. Um, there's there's business reality TV shows. There's dating reality TV shows like uh, Love Island or Love Is Blind. Um, there's surveillance reality TV shows. There's outdoor kind of macho survival type reality TV shows. Um, and what kind of they all have in common is celebrity. They are selling us the idea of democracy, a bit like the American dream. Anyone can become famous as long as they work hard and have a certain amount of talent. A bit like the idea that, anyone can win the lottery. In theory, it's true, but most people do not. Does that remind you anything? Does that remind you of the balance of the world? That the position of the 1% vis-a-vis the 99%. It's an ideology as well. You've got this ideological perspective from the ruling class, manufacturing the idea that we're all in it together. So what's really clever and sophisticated about reality TV is it's made by transnational and national advertising agencies, and it uses psychological techniques to hook us in, just like advertising, just like social media. And one of those big techniques is emotion and desire and pleasure. Again, we'll talk about that in more specifically with regard to the examples that are coming up. Um, so, what is it? Excuse me. What is it that makes reality TV real? Is there anything real in it? I'm trying to keep my mind open. Okay, I know I come across as a kind of middle-aged, slightly sort of cynical person, and I think that's always a danger. You know, we, but just like with social media, if you look at the literature on reality TV, it's mostly promotional. It's mostly public relations. Um, And but the point is, I think it's really important that we start to look at reality TV and why it's successful academically. In the same way, for the whole of the course, I'm trying to promote this idea of media literacy and being critical about, it's why is it that we live in a world now where reality TV, just like Netflix, has become like a guilty kind of jokey secret that everybody's watching it. It's in fact, Netflix has become the new Hollywood, arguably, and everybody's doing it, but we're not really talking about why, what's in it, and who's making it, and for what purpose. And that's really what I'm trying to get across in the context of reality TV and this course in general. So I would link, for those of you that will write essays later on this or exam questions, thematically, ideologically, there are clear links between reality TV and social media and advertising and Hollywood. What's real about it? Okay, handheld cameras, the sense of immediacy, liveness, but it's just like the news. It's constructed liveness, constructed immediacy. It's constructed emotion. It's telling you how to feel and what to feel, right? And I would argue that that's not like a piece of art from a Frankfurt School perspective. That is low culture, right? Um, yeah, we can debate this, and clearly there are very powerful examples of reality TV that we all think we get very moved by, and we don't want to be criticised. We don't want someone to say, "Oh no, don't watch that," that's not good for you. You're stupid, blah blah. And, we need to get away from that. But I really want to introduce both, at least, you know, a critical perspective, and also I want people to be open about why they like it. I also think that reality TV shows, just like Netflix and TV series in general, are addictive. People binge watch them, right? That's a problem. That's like fast food. That's like drugs. That's like sex. They are constructed in such a way that we get hooked in, and we think, and they create, just like, from a marxist perspective, this false need for constant. We want to escape into the world. A bit like Hollywood as well. These are very, very. They have global appeal. And when I say global appeal, yes, they started in the capitalist West, but they've been exported around the world and translated and adapted a bit like, when we talked about hybridization. They've been adapted to national markets for profit. Anyway, another thing that makes them real is the emotion, or that arguably there's high intensity emotion. You can even argue that the emotion is subversive to a certain extent, because it's a bit like the idea that it's democratic, it's emotion from the people, it's what people feel, it's ordinary people. I question that. I'm not comfortable with the idea that it's authentic emotion. I think we're increasingly living in, especially under the lockdown, we're increasingly living in a world of screens, where we're watching commercial products or politically constructed news products, which are designed to make us feel fear, or feel desire, or feel pleasure. And I think that's very, very damaging to our abilities to feel for ourselves, in real social communities, or just to feel individually, that we are becoming individually. Look at the documentary clip that I showed you, Stare Into the Lights, my pretties. We are being this virtual distraction. Distraction is another key word of reality TV. The real is happening outside. The environment is being destroyed. There's a pandemic, global warming, nuclear war are looming. My God, that's real. And we choose to watch reality TV. Okay. So what's different about this lecture on social media? Sorry, reality TV. It's strange. We know why I'm mixing up social media and reality TV. Is that I'm in a popular way, you, my students, I'm inviting you to watch 6 carefully selected clips of different kinds of reality TV. Another way that reality TV is presented to us by the companies that make them is that it's democratic, this interactive. You can vote people on and off, and really, we know from studying surveillance culture and digital politics that actually social media and the internet has become the way that right-wing regimes, political parties have undermined democracy and unlocked it, and through very sophisticated kind of psyop style advertising, bombarding of individual political ads. This is false democracy. I think this is not real democracy. Real democracy does not happen on a screen. The screen might aid communication between people who are like Extinction Rebellion and the Arab Spring uprisings, but it's not real. Okay, it's not real, guys. So be careful with that. Another link I'm just looking at the key words there. Fly on the wall. Well, we know from the lecture on documentaries, Fly on the Wall, is the idea that, again, reality, documentary techniques, unedited. I mean, reality TV gives the false impression that it's not edited, but the emotion is contrived. The consent is manufactured. A bit like canned laughter, where you have comedies and or comedies on TV, and you hear the laughter that's already part of the soundtrack. So it makes you want to laugh, and that's that strange connection. You hear people laughing, but it's a bit like, it's almost Pavlovian. It's almost behavioural, that we just copy without unconsciously, without knowing it. And I think that's the danger and the power of reality TV, that it makes us copy emotions that actually don't apply to the world that we're in. And that's why there's a lot of mental health issues associated with social media culture, and people are becoming addicted to reality TV because it's false emotion, and our bodies are saying to us, actually, my life's not great, and I can't just sustain my well-being and pleasure by watching reality TV shows. So there's this disconnect. Yeah. Anyway, I look forward to talking to you students in the classes and seminars about these issues. So equally, on the other side of the political fence, you've got the idea that reality TV is interactive, it's democratic, it's active, So there is that counter argument, which you're welcome to use in your essays, and I will read it. And if you can convince me, then please do. Okay, I just want to say one more thing about the subversive element, or the radical element of reality TV. It cannot be radical or subversive if it's commercial. That's my view. Okay, that's a bit of a Frankfurt School political economic view, I know. But take RuPaul's Drag Race, which is about men dressed in drag in a competition to, they sing, they act, they dance, and they're voted off by the public. One of the phrases that kind of almost homophobic phrases, stereotypes homosexual men maybe, or sashay away. It's the idea of men performing femininity. How radical can it be? It's still very, very popular. It still has to make money. It's still stereotyping. Anyway, you make up your own minds. But there are different types of reality TV, and some are more interesting and progressive than others. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I've mentioned mental health, so I'll say these things too. I think that social media and reality TV are causing mental health problems in young people, especially teenage girls. Look at Love Island too, and the objectification of women's bodies. And some of the contestants, I'm not exaggerating, at least 2 have committed suicide since that because they have been propelled into celebrity. But celebrity, just like Kim Kardashian and her so-called family, celebrity for celebrity's sake, it's unsustainable. It's not real, okay? And it produces mental health problems. Even people who win these shows, who are plucked from obscurity or even working class and become celebrities, they, just like people that win the lottery, it causes huge dysfunction and breakdown in their families, and they have breakdowns. It causes trauma, and there's a reason for that, because it's not natural, it's not normal, okay? And it's not connected to the real world. The real is the environment, it's the planet, it's what's being destroyed. Reality TV is distracting us from that. Anyway, I'm just going to say a few more introductory ideas about reality TV. This is from a text that was published from a text called Global Media Studies, published 4 years ago, 2016. This chapter is Reality TV is by T. Miller and M.M. Crady. I'm just going to verbatim quote a few paragraphs because they're very interesting. Then I'm going to go over some background of the 6 clips that you're watching for this lecture. You've got the links in the lecture outline. Please, it's very important. This lecture won't make sense if you don't watch the clips. You watch those clips, please, and then we can discuss in the seminar. So here we go. picking up on the previous chapter's discussion of genre and forget that first sentence. That's bad. I should edit that. Okay, this is reality TV. I'm not editing. This is just me making mistakes, being an idiot. But hopefully you'll get something out of it as well. So there's a thing about reality TV. It would always iron out and make it look smooth and perfect, and then we all think that we've got to be smooth and perfect, and nobody's smooth and perfect. It has spread like wildfire across the world since the beginning of the century, occupying its seemingly ever increasing share of primetime television in many countries across the world. The reality genre is a strange hybrid of cost-cutting devices, game shows taken into the community, cinéma vérité, conceits, scripts written in post-production, social Darwinist ideology, surveillance and gossip. Any of those words we can talk about in the seminar if they don't make sense. I'm not going to go into them in detail now. From the first, it has embodied the principle of customization through format sales. Globalization is at its heart. For example, a key function of BBC America, a cable network on the air since 1990, I think that's 6, is to showcase reality programs that might then be sold as formats in American stations. An examination of reality television enables a unique vista into the ways in which contemporary global media depend on specific configurations of labor. These are key words here, and I do want to expand on these in the classes, and I'll probably incorporate them more closely in future lectures on this topic. Labor, so specific configurations of labor, capital, and meaning. Nice subheadings there. Nice subheadings if you were writing an essay, answering an essay on reality TV, third assignment, or the exam question. Yeah, nice subheadings there. Remember those. Michael Grade, head of Britain's, just looking at the timing, okay, we're okay. Michael Grade, head of Britain's ITV, claims, or he was in 2016, that drama fails to match, so he's talking about old classical drama before reality TV, it fails to match reality TV's emotional drain, quote unquote. And John Burt, the BBC's former Director General, says it has liberated Britons to express themselves imaginatively and individually. Isn't that interesting? The BBC's the head of the BBC, Director General, talking neoliberal language, a public service broadcaster. Never forget that the BBC still has to compete with neoliberal commercial television. And there you have the former Director General actually talking like he's a businessman. Neoliberal chief executives can be relied upon to say such things. If they knew some history, their Olympian pronouncements might have more shades of meaning. Again, we can unpack that. I'll explain that in the classes ahead. This is interesting. And I only learnt this recently. I'll admit that. The origins of reality television lie in the propaganda ministry of the Nazi Party. So reality TV started as propaganda, guys. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. The propaganda ministry of the Nazi Party. Oh my God. Oh, I got to be careful here. Hang on a minute. How did Donald Trump become president? Reality TV star. Oh my God. Anyway, in the 30s, and here's some very bad German pronunciation. Die Kriminalpolizei warnt, the Criminal Investigation Department warns, that was the name of the show, was the party's centerpiece of TV programming. Fritz Schleck spoke live with police officers about unsolved cases and invited audiences to cooperate in catching opponents of the state. Whoa! This is so important. 1940s Nazi propaganda, surveillance. Look what's happening in the world now, guys. It's all linked up. Surveillance culture. Look at the clips that the last clip that I'm putting on the list. Hunted. It's promoting the surveillance values, military police values, catching criminals. It's a bit like when in the context of social media, what have I got to hide? I tell you what you've got to hide. You've got to hide in a surveillance big brother state. When you do something that the government doesn't like, and you're applying for a job later, then you'll know the limits of freedom. Okay? Surveillance culture is the real in reality TV, or certainly in social media culture. You know, it's big data, it's profiting from our free data for commercial and political purposes, because it's only with our big data that they can then construct algorithms that target us with political ads and influence us in ways that undermine and subvert democracy. Very, very important big point. Where were we? When television returned to Germany after the war, the genre quickly became popular. For 50 years, that show's successor, forgive me my eyes again, but also it's German, Achtenzeichen, XY, Ungelöst. Sorry, German speakers, believe it or not, I have German friends that would not be impressed by that. File Sign XY, Unsolved 1967 on, has been a model for police civilian collaboration series around the world, such as Crime Watch and Americans Most Wanted. The key contemporary source of the reality TV phenomenon has been Italy, where public television pioneered the modern genre due to competition from new private concerns. Recording still going okay, good. Just a couple more points about reality TV before I read you the backgrounds to the clips. Okay, so the genre of reality TV also has something in common with melodrama, a genre that was damned from its origins in 18th century Europe by contrast with naturalism and realism because of its high intensity emotionalism, often high intensity emotionalism linked to feminine qualities rather than masculine qualities, but can also be read as a site that tested out new social identities in times of intense disruption. Oh my God, testing out new social identities in times of intense disruption? That sounds a bit like now. When religious and monarchical power were being challenged by urbanizing capitalism and secular democracy. One could say similar things about the neoliberal era, when reality TV and telenovelas alike offer testing grounds for new subjectivities in an era of apparent choice, but also widening inequality. Okay, there's your political economic there, widening inequality, advertising values, the poor don't exist. It's all about converting the poor to the capitalist religion. The genre speaks to the supposed responsibility of all people to master their drives and harness their energies to get better jobs, homes, looks, aesthetics, body, problem, women's bodies, problem, being sexy, being looked at, the male gaze. It's all there, guys. Look at it. It's there, the advertising values. That said, it can also be very inclusive. Okay, so the best example I can come up with of the inclusiveness, or the most interesting one, is RuPaul's Drag Race. I haven't watched it extensively, but I have good friends. My partner watches it, and I think it's interesting. It's not your typical reality TV show, and I do recommend guys in particular watch it. Watch it. Overcome your resistances. Watch it. Yeah. Men dressed up as women. Yes. Reality TV. Well, okay. It's not standard. It's against the grain. It's in Butler. In Judith Butler's terms, it is gender being performed. Okay, I think that's interesting in itself. Anyway, next lecture I'll be in drag. Okay, that said, it can also be very inclusive. US reality TV has featured queer characters on more than a dozen shows as part of this class blind but inclusive push to appeal to all identities. The genre is suffused with neoliberal deregulatory nostrums, individual responsibility, neoliberalism, avarice, capitalism, greed is good, possessive individualism, private property, hyper competitiveness, aggression, win, lose, you're a loser, you're fired, and commodification, links with everything that we've studied about mass media on the course up to now. Played out in the domestic sphere rather than the public world. For example, makeover programs. Again, makeover programs. These are all about getting people to consume. Take economically underprivileged people and offer them a lifestyle they cannot afford to sustain. Are reality TV shows a kind of global dream compared to the American dream? The makeover varietal focuses on dramatic aesthetic transformations. There's another one, I forget what it's called. I'll come back to you on it, but I'm going to signpost it now, that I find interesting, a reality TV show where it's Queer Eye. There we have it. I'm glad that I mentioned it. Another potential subversive reality TV show. This is a bunch of six or so gay men, young gay men, who go around America, and they hook up with and they move in to people's houses, people who are depressed, who have issues in their lives, and they give their house a makeover, and they give them some kind of psychological counseling. And these people, in the narrative of the makeover reality TV script, they improve, they're happier, they're very thankful. But these are gay guys who, and maybe stereotyping them, yes, but these are gay guys who are very emotionally intelligent about emotional needs, and I know I'm stereotyping them right now, but there's something interesting about it. There's something that's not typically your heteronormative, heterosexual narrative here. These are intelligent, good-looking gay men. So my two working examples for going against the grain of reality TV and heteronormative sexuality are Queer Eye and RuPaul's Drag Race. Check those out, guys. Its emphasis, where was I? Its emphasis on spectacle and cost transformations are very personal and hence cheap for broadcasters. So, one of the reason why reality TV was invented is it's relatively cheap compared to current affairs, television production and documentary production, but it makes loads of money for the advertisers. They love it. It's made by advertisers. Think about the agency. There's false agency, but the idea that we have separate agency from economic structure. No, reality TV is the structure making the agency for us. Work it out, guys. That's the message. Anyway, so the last point is emphasis on spectacle and cost transformation are very personal and hence cheap for broadcasters, has proven to be very appealing. Okay, so now I'm going to read the backgrounds to the 6 clips. I've got notes in front of me. I'm going to read them out, but I will improvise if and where necessary. And then I'll conclude with the from a quotation of at the end of the Miller and Crady text that I've just been referring to. So let's turn to our first clip. Can I just emphasize, guys, it's really, 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 really important that you watch these 6 clips. They're fun. I've chosen them carefully. They are different kinds of reality TV. We can't have a discussion without you watching them. I mean, I like this lecture. I'm trying to make this lecture interesting because, again, just like with social media, we're all using it. So this is not like you're kind of like from a Frankfurt school. This is not your top-down elitist academic approach to the study of media. We're all in it, of it, and we make it. Think about it. We are in it, of it, and make it. That applies to social media. That applies to reality TV. Or does it? Are we in it? That's the question. Right. So let's turn to the Kardashians. And in particular, I've got in my notes here, in the clip that you watch, there's a clip where Kim Kardashian meets Donald Trump. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about that. I want you to spell it out for me. What's the significance of that? Here we go. The series focuses mainly on sisters Kim, Kourtney, Khloe Kardashian, and their half-sisters Kendall and Kylie Jenner. It also features their parents Kris and Caitlyn Jenner, previously known as Bruce Jenner, and brother Rob Kardashian. The significant others of the Kardashian sisters have also appeared on the show, including Kourtney's boyfriend Scott Disick and Khloe's ex-husband Lamar Odom. Caitlyn's son Brody made cameo appearances in the early seasons before joining the show to appear regularly along with his brother Brandon and Brandon's wife Leah. Kim's friend Jonathan Cheban. Oh, where have I seen him before? Oh my God, Celebs Go Dating, a reality TV show. And he apparently is Kim Kardashian's best friend. And he's, I don't know, I don't want to make up your mind. He's not a very nice person. He's incredibly, it's about money. He's like a young Trump, and he's very rude about women, and he thinks he's God's gift. Okay. Anyway, that sounds a bit unacademic, and so let's get back to the academic terrain, shall we? So I mentioned Kim's friend Jonathan Cheban and Khloe's friend Malika Hack have also been part of the show. Keeping Up with the Kardashians has received very poor critical reviews because it's crap. But it makes money. It is often criticized for the high degree of emphasis on the famous for being famous concept and for appearing to fabricate some aspects of its story. Hang on a minute. Reality TV fabricates? Really? You heard it here first. Several critics also noted the show's lack of intelligence. Dumbing down Frankfurt School. You are passively being absorbed into a totalitarian, consumerist, neoliberal, capitalist culture. Watch out, guys. It's coming at you. Self-absorbed, the family, narcissistic, desperate for fame. Yep. However, some critics recognize the reality series as a guilty pleasure and acknowledge the family's success. Despite these negative reviews, Keeping Up with the Kardashians has attracted high viewership ratings, becoming one of the network's most successful shows and winning several audience awards. Okay, watch the clip. You make up your mind. It's got soap opera elements, but what else has it got? In terms of how can we link it with other types of media that we've discussed on this course. I'm going to go to the next clip, American Idol now. Okay, probably the most interesting subgenre of reality TV for me because I love singing. I think there is something very heartfelt about people singing and on a stage, and it moves you, doesn't it? You know, we're all moved by music, but advertising moves you as well. So, and it's edited and blah blah. It's not the same as live music. It's just, yeah. Again, think about the difference between live music, how it moves you, and music through a screen, mediated reality TV music, singing that is manipulated consent, manipulated emotion, manufactured consent. Am I getting boring? Maybe to myself. American Idol is an American singing competition television series. It started as an addition to the Idols format that was based on Pop Idol from British television and became one of the most successful shows in the history of American television. The concept of the series involves discovering recording stars from unsigned singing talents, with the winner determined by American viewers using phones, full stop. Internet, oh, it's not full stop, it's a capital I. Eyes again, I need glasses. Next time I'll be in drag wearing glasses. And SMS text voting. The winners of the first 17 seasons as chosen by viewers. American Idol employs a panel of vocal judges who critique the contestants' performances. The 16th season brought 3 new judges, singers Lionel Richie, I was nearly tempted to sing there. Hello, I just got to let you know. Sorry. Kate Perry and Luke Bryan for the rest of the series. Just want to say something here. This is a lecture. This is an experiment. This is not edited. But in my mind, I'm performing. And if I was making this commercial, I would cut out bits and I would say, oh, that bit's, he's funny there, he's clever, he looks better there. And then it becomes edited and made into reality TV because people want to watch it. Okay, so I'm playing. I am in the reality TV world. I am talking to myself. I'm being narcissistic. I hope I'm not just being narcissistic. You can make up your own mind. But anyway, I'm trying to just make the issues live. Let's think. The success of American Idol has been described as unparalleled in broadcasting history. Who said that? PR? I don't think that's an academic opinion. Or it's only unparalleled in broadcasting history in terms of profit making. Okay, political economic approach. Is that everything? Is money everything? Is capitalism everything? I don't think so. A rival TV executive said the series was the most impactful show in the history of television. It became a recognized springboard for launching the career of many recording artists. According to Billboard magazine, in its first 10 years, Idol has spawned 345 Billboard chart toppers and a platoon of pop idols, including, and I haven't heard of any of these, my bad, Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, Chris Daughtry, Fantasia, Ruben Studdard, Jennifer Hudson, oh, I think I've heard of her, Clay Aiken, Adam Lambert, and Jordan Sparks, while remaining at TV ratings. Blockbuster. Advertising. For an unprecedented 8 consecutive years, from the 2003-04 television season through the 2010-11 season, either its performance show or results show was ranked #1 in US TV ratings. Say no more. Money, power. Next clip, The Apprentice. The Apprentice US best firings. What can we say about The Apprentice? Here we go. These are my notes. The Apprentice was created by British-born American television producer Mark Burnett. Just checking the time, we're good, although I do need to speed up a bit. Billed as the ultimate job interview, the show features 16 to 18 business people who compete over the course of a season, with usually one contestant eliminated per episode. Contestants are split into corporations teams, with one member from each volunteering as a project manager on each new task. The corporations complete business-related tasks such as selling products, raising money for charity, or creating an advertising campaign, with one corporation selected as the winner based on objective measures and subjective opinions of the host and his advisors, who monitor the team's performance or tasks. The losing corporation attends a boardroom meeting with the show's host and their advisors to break down why they lost and determine who contributed the least to the team. Episodes ended with the host eliminating the poorest contributor from the competition with the words, "You're fired." Reality. Hang on a minute. Oh my God, Donald Trump and what he did to all his political advisors who criticized him, or anybody that spoke the truth got fired. Interesting. Real estate tycoon and now president of the US, Donald Trump was the show's host for the first 14 seasons. After Trump declared he would run for president, it was announced the 15th season would be hosted by actor and former California governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. During Trump's tenure, the series frequently featured and promoted his properties, products, and brand. Trump's wife, Melania Trump, was also featured on the series. Selling. Ivanka Trump, money, family business. Including in several tasks that have featured her fashion and cosmetic products. Ivanka Trump's fashion products have also been featured in tasks. Well, it just all makes sense. Next one on the list, let's just check. Big Brother, here we go, and featuring the Bollywood Indian star Shilpa Shetty. That's the racist element coming through there that we can just talk about in the seminars. Forgive me, I'm going to have to speed up now. I want to get this wound up in about 15 minutes, so Here we go. From a sociological and demographic perspective, Big Brother allows an analysis of how people react when forced into close confinement with people outside of their comfort zone, having different opinions or ideals, or from a different socio-economic group, i.e. class. The reviewer has the opportunity to see how a person reacts from the outside through the constant recording of their actions and the inside in the diary or confessor room. The diary room, forgive me, my mind. The diary room is where contestants can privately express their feelings about the game, strategy, and the other contestants. The results range from violent or angry confrontations to genuine and tender connections, often including romantic interludes. This show is notable for involving the internet. There's a link. Although the show typically broadcasts daily updates during the evening, sometimes criticized by viewers and former contestants for having heavy editing by producers. Viewers can also watch a continuous feed from multiple cameras on the web in most countries, like The Truman Show, a brilliant film, by the way. I'd sooner watch The Truman Show than watch Big Brother. These websites were successful even after some national series began charging for access to the video stream. In some countries, internet broadcasting was supplemented by updates by email, WAP, and SMS. The House is shown live on satellite television, although in some countries there is a 10 to 15 minute delay to allow libelous or unacceptable content, such as references to people not participating in the program who have not consented to having personal information broadcast, to be removed, to be edited. Censorship editing. Reality? I wonder. Contestants occasionally develop sexual relationships. The level of sexual explicitness allowed to be shown in broadcast and internet feed varies according to the country's broadcasting standards. Okay, speeding up, moving rapidly on. 2 more clips, then I will conclude. Okay, the next clip is Running Wild. The clip that I want you to watch has Bear Grylls, the former SAS guy, macho guy, action man, meeting Obama. Race again. Okay, so we've got race coming up here, and we had race coming up in the previous clip. So that's definitely something I'd like to pick up on. Okay, what do I want to say about Running Wild? The general format of each episode is the premise that Bear Grylls is left stranded in a region with his film crew. So it's the appearance, the construction of accident, randomness, outside, unedited, live, don't know what's going to happen, unpredictability, just like real life, not real life. The episode documents his efforts to survive and find a way back to civilization, usually requiring an overnight shelter of some kind. Mostly there are wild terrains, jungles, forests, or similar non-urban areas. But in special episodes like that in Shipyard, God knows how you say this, Gdynia, there are industry areas located in cities. Grylls also tells about successful and failed survivals in the particular area which he is in. Each episode takes about 7 to 10 days to shoot. Before each show, the crew does about a week of reconnaissance, followed by Grylls doing a flyover of the terrain. Grylls then undergoes 2 days of intensive survival briefings. Quote, I spend 2 days on location prior to dropping in. I go through all the safety and comms briefing, as well as being briefed on local conditions and flora and fauna by local rangers and a local bushcraft expert. He is followed on the program by a cameraman and a sound engineer. Okay, just to re-emphasize, I think I mentioned this before. Soldiers, I think it's basically PR for soldiers. This is a bit like action movies, macho guy, individual white hero. Yeah, I'm sounding negative. Positive, actually, I like it, and I think I learned something from it. I take away something because, at the end of the day, we are now living in a world where we might actually have to have a closer relationship with the environment to survive. So you might actually learn something from it. So always a danger of being too cynical. So stop, pause. There is something interesting about Running Wild and Bear Grylls as well, from a kind of yes, a survival perspective, and at least it's outside. At least he's in the environment, right? It's not completely studio inside. Last clip is Hunted. Okay, just a few words about Hunted. Hunted is a British reality television program on Channel 4 whose third series ran for 6 episodes in September to October 2015. I think I've seen with my sons, I've watched the American episodes. So again, this is a format that's expanded at least across the Atlantic and probably all the way around the world. The program returned on 22nd of December 2016 for a 6-episode second series with 10 new fugitives going on the run to be in with a chance to win a share of a prize of £100,000. The group of everyday civilians, so it's like normal people pretending to be criminals, being chased and surveilled using digital traces, using social media data, normalizing. Creeping normalization, creeping normalcy. Yeah, the normalization of surveillance culture. Where possible, the hunters try to use the same methods of surveillance employed by the state, including open source intelligence, cyber expertise, and interrogating friends and family. When the hunters did not legally have access to those powers such as CCTV and ANPR, the powers have been replicated for the show. Series 1, 14 civilian contestants billed as fugitives during the show's run attempted to avoid a team of former police and intelligence officers. So these are actual former police and intelligence officers, that's a bit of reality, participating in the show, for 28 days armed with replicated powers of the state. So they are actually sort of normalizing state control of criminality. My God, isn't that also kind of what's going on now? You know, if we look how oppressed we are by the state because of the virus and being locked down and people literally afraid to go out of their doors, there is a link there, guys. There is a link. During their time on the run, the fugitives are not allowed to leave the UK mainland and give permission to be tracked, as if the state was tracking them using methods that the state may use, such as monitoring of phones. This is what's actually happening. Our phones are monitored. Houses search, analysing of electrical equipment. Each fugitive was also given a bank account containing £450. The contestants still at large on day 28 were required to meet at a secret extraction point, Fair Oaks Airport in Surrey. The series was filmed between 4th of May 2015 and 31st of May 2015, and since 2015, I think it's been going on year after year. Okay, we have 8 or more minutes to go. I'm going to conclude with a few pertinent comments about reality TV. So here goes. Just let me find what I want to say. Here it is. And forgive me because it's very small writing. I need glasses and it's not even photocopied very well. And again, that's my bad. So but hopefully you'll get something out of this. Globalizing reality television studies requires an adjustment of the theoretical frameworks and analytical foci that have dominated its early, predominantly Anglo-Saxon phase. Yuko Kawai, 2009, argues that in the case of Japan, this is interesting Japanese students, reality television stimulates a nationalism superficially redefined to fit globalization, but it's in its aspirational discourse rather than its cosmopolitan one. We can talk about that, what that means in the classes. Intellectual space must be made for hang on, that's the word. For I can't actually read, stunts not solely framed by neoliberalism to allow for emerging emphases that are distant from surveillance, authenticity, and self-confessional behaviour. I'm going to pause here because there's too many obscured words, and I feel that the message is going to be obscured. So I'll rewrite the conclusion, and we can discuss that in the seminar. I'm going to end there. I hope you thought my comments and ideas were interesting on reality TV today. I hope you think there was some reality in this. I mean, again, make it live. You're going to watch a recording of me staring at a screen, giving you information about reality TV. Is that real? Does that fit into the reality TV? No, of course it doesn't. It's not making money. But the techniques. That's what we need to focus on, the techniques. So bye for now, and looking forward to seeing you all again soon. Love you all.